Welcome back to the best division in football with your boys Awthentik and The Beard, man. The best television show not on TV. Y'all know what it is, man. This week 11 is shaping up to be a fantastic one, man. I cannot wait to get into these games. We got a jam-packed schedule today with 5 games we got to go over before this Thursday night game. The Patriots are going to be heading over to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Mac Jones playing some hot football right now. Last week was a really good one, too, man. It's unfortunate that the Giants were on a bye, man, because there was some really good football played throughout Week 10. You had the Eagles taking care of business in Mile High. You had Washington with the major upset over Tampa Bay. And the Buccaneers one time, man, handling business over there. Big upset. Got to give big shout-outs to the Washington football team, the whole nation over there. They're doing their thing right now. Pushed their record to 3-6 on the season, man. They're still in the mix. The Cowboys deep-fried the Atlanta Falcons. Y'all know how that went. That was a crucial one right there. Didn't expect the Falcons to put up a dud. It's been pretty quiet as far as around the league news today in football. We did see ex-Jets running back Zach Stacy on footage with the domestic charge beating his baby mother. I don't think it's his girlfriend or his wife in front of the child, man. That's just the utmost disrespect you could possibly show somebody. I'm glad that she had cameras on in the house, man, because somebody like that deserves to be behind bars, no doubt about it. And just wanted to send a special rest in peace to the homie Young Dolph. We lost another rap artist in the rap community to gun violence. So definitely wanted to send a rest in peace to everybody, all the families that were devastated by that, all the fans. I know that's major for them too. But without further ado, man, let's move this on a positive note here one time and bring in the strong side to my left side. Y'all know what it is, man. What's going on, The Beard? How you living over there, brother?
You know me, man. Just trying to get these roadmaps to victory all lined up for this weekend. This is the craziest time of the year for me. Like, I am just super busy getting ready for Cyber Week, Small Business Saturday, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So I just been packing orders, you know what I'm saying, trying to get all my ducks in a row. And fantasy football, like, this is like crunch time of the year.
We trying to make that run, bro. We trying to make that run.
Yeah, I'm really trying to make some playoff pushes here. Like, I started off really rough in a lot of my leagues, and like I've got back to like 500 in some of those leagues, and like I have a couple of teams that are like top tier. So I'm like, my best team, I think I have 2 teams that are one team 8-2, one team 7-3, and then our squad, which should be undefeated, but, you know, we had a rough start to the year, but we are on track. I think we're like a 93% chance to make the playoffs. So this is
I haven't even checked that playoff percentage yet. That's what's up. I don't even know what the record is, but we just been winning. I mean, back to back. I
think we're 6-4 now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, because we started off 0-3, I believe, on that team.
Yeah, so it's a wild time of the year getting into this portion of the football season, and everything's a little bit different, you know, obviously because we're on 17 weeks, or technically 18-week season, 17-game season. So that's going to be interesting to see how all that kind of plays out as we get closer towards the end of the year. So every game is going to be super important. Obviously, you know, Washington is in this next 3 weeks, our last 3 games that aren't divisional opponents. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. Every game for these teams that aren't, you know, on top of their divisions or in a prime position right now record-wise, it's getting down to crunch time. So this is, I think, the beginning of where we start to see some sort of separation between playoff teams and non-playoff teams.
Yeah, that's real. And as far as fantasy goes, we get 1 extra week this year with the extra week of football as well. So what is that going to be, 14 total weeks, I guess, before we get into playoffs? I think it was normally 13.
Yeah, it's either 14 or I guess it depends on how many teams make your playoffs in your season-long leagues, because you know, typically it used to be where you never wanted to have your Super Bowl in the last week of the season. So I would imagine that the Super Bowl would be the week 17. So then 16 and 15 would be playoffs. So yeah, I think 14 is the last week now.
Yeah, that's going. I mean, we definitely making this push, man. I'd love to get a little bit of money back for all the money lost on some of these other fantasy leagues, man. And you, just like you talked about it being the busiest time of the year, you know, we're gonna have to pack a couple more Christmas gifts up under that tree. So a couple extra dollars definitely wouldn't hurt the pockets right now, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, trust me, I know what you're saying. my fiance, if you're watching, shout out to Josie. She just, we got our quote for the food for the wedding today. So
it's looking crazy,
yeah.
I bet.
I got to do a lot of work. Yeah, that's just
y'all better slay it at the wedding as far as the grub goes. I'll keep it funky with you like this. Like most of the weddings I go to, the food be the worst part of the wedding, I swear. So hopefully with y'all's, we only got about a good 8 more months, something like that, before the big date. I'm a promise to the Awthentik and The Beard fam here that when I say the speech, I'm gonna make everybody in there say left side, strong side. Watch. Wow.
I love it.
You know what it is. Giants Nation in the building, man. But we got a lot of games to get to, man.
Yep,
So
let's go
let's get a couple
shout out
shout
some
outs.
of these people in the chats.
Yeah,
Big
let's
shout
get
out to Double EZ in the building. What's going on, Double EZ?
What's
Great
up,
to see you,
fam? What's
sir.
good?
Marjorie is in the building, always holding us down in the chat. We appreciate it for sure.
What's poppin',
Simon
Marjorie?
is in the building. What's going
up,
on,
Simon? Been a little bit. What's up, fam?
Big shout out to
Sunday.
Sunday, always holding us down in chat. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up while you guys are here. Shout out to everybody watching us on Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. We appreciate all the love and the support. The heavyweight champion of the world is in the
What's good, fam? What's good?
And big shout out to Simon Coleman for the $10 super chat. Says, loaded question tonight. Need to start 2. One has to be wide receiver. The other has to be a flex. This is a PPR league. He's got Kadarius Toney, Kenny Galladay, Dearness Johnson, CJ Uzma, Mark Ingram, Randall Cobb, and Jeff Wilson. He's not starting both Giant wide receivers. They are all around the same projected points. So we kind of went over this a little bit as we saw it come in. I think we are both in agreement, right? We're going to go Kadarius Toney and Mark Ingram.
For sure.
Yeah, because Dearness Johnson, it's looking like Nick Chubb is going to play. As far as the wide receiver position, I personally think that Toney is going to get more touches, whether it be carries, receptions. I feel
Maybe
like he's going to be more involved. Yeah, exactly. I mean, every point counts in this fantasy stuff, so you never know. And then with Uzama, he's the tight end. It's just so hit or miss at that position. Randall Cobb, he's had some really good games. He's had some just you don't even know that he's on the team games.
Yeah.
It's just kind of difficult, the inconsistency. Jeff Wilson, if Elijah Mitchell's is healthy, then there's nobody else in that San Francisco 49ers backfield that I would touch except for Elijah Mitchell. So I think your best bet's going to be Mark Ingram and Kadarius Toney. And good luck, and make sure you check us out Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the parlay. We will hit all your fantasy football and NFL betting questions
Big facts.
during that show.
I like Randall Cobb as a runner-up. I like him as a runner-up, but I do think you got to go Kadarius Toney. The Beard was talking about how the Bucs pass defense ain't that great, so as long as they can keep Daniel Jones upright, Toney should see a bunch of touches, and I see him maximizing the touches too. That's the thing. He might be able to take one of these plays, make it a big play for you, and that's really all you'll need to, in that kind of a position that you're in as far as fantasy goes.
Absolute facts. And big shout out to the homie Lucas checking in all the way from Australia. We appreciate
Big
it. Lucas,
shout out to homie.
as
What's good, bro?
always. Joel is in the building. What's going on, Joel? Great to see you, brother. Hope
Shout
you're
out
doing
Joel,
well.
Big Pat, the whole gang one time, Miz, G Nation, all of them, man. They doing a fantastic job over there on Big Pat's channel.
Don Vito is in the building. What's
Don
going
Vito.
on, Don
What up,
Vito?
fam?
Good
What
to
up?
see you,
What up?
sir. Stan Albert is in the building. Big Blue Stan says, what's up, OG? Sending that Zoe energy. Authentic Way, YouTube
Yes, sir.
Beard. We got you with the Creole sup chat.
Sock passe. What's up, fam? How you living?
Big shout out to the homie Anthony, a.k.a. Bluegrass Picker, always holding us down. We appreciate it, brother.
Big
for
shout out, fam.
Sure. Who else we got in the building? Make sure I don't miss anybody. New York Chris is in the building. What's
Hey,
going
what's up,
on,
fam?
man? Good to see you, sir.
Yes,
Definite
RIP
rest in
Dolph, man.
peace
Memphis
to
legend
Dolph.
one time. Y'all know what it is.
And big shout out to Tonio Bot in the building. What's
Faithful.
going on, Tonio?
What's up, Tonio? How you living?
Good to see you, sir. Who we got here? Unbiased, biased sports talk.
I like that. You know what it is, man. Giants Nation is in the building one time. We appreciate you pulling up, my G.
Maria is in the building, and
Hey, what's going on, Maria?
Monique says open bar. You know my friends.
You better not hit me with
Josie's family, my friends together, unlimited drinks. Who knows how that's going to end?
That better be the vibes. That better be the vibes. I might have to pull a Caitlin on you one time.
Big shout out to the homie Lax Ofo in the building. What's going on?
Nation
Mark
in the building.
Primetime 21 holding it down for the Cowboys fans with Monique. We appreciate y'all joining us.
Yes, sir.
As
What
always.
up, Mark? What up?
Shout out to the homie Paulie, a.k.a. Gunnyman757. Says, yo, HTTW.
HTTW.
Hail to the W,
That's what's up,
Paulie.
man. Welcome to the chat.
Yeah, they're
man.
going to
What's
be
good with
over
you?
on First String Podcast later tonight, so definitely go check out the homie Toothpick and all of them.
That's
and then
what's
big
up,
shout
for
out
sure.
to Old Man Rob in the building. Oh, and the homie Jeff. Got to give a big shout out to the homie
What up, Jeff? How you living, fam? Good to
And
see
then
Jeff
Nick-
doing a lot of talking in the community, too, on Big Pat's channel as well, too, man. Good to see you chopping it up.
Facts. And then big shout out to Nikki.
What up,
Sav
Nikki Sav?
in
What it
the
do? What it do?
building. All right, everybody. It's time to talk some football.
It's time to
game.
talk some football. I'm
Hey,
hyped, man.
look, sometimes when I say football like a certain way, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when we were in high school and we played our first playoff baseball game, and we had to travel to Boonesboro.
Oh, Boonesboro.
And they
Everybody
had their
talking
own
about some Boonesboro baseball.
baseball.
I do remember. We were like, man, we out here in a real program. Like, these dudes had the mean dugout, the bullpen. The pitcher was coming from center field to come out on the field. I'm like, bro, I'm in the 10th, 11th grade. What's going on, cuz? And we was
as soon
not
as I
good.
heard that song, no, we weren't. As soon as
What
I
were we
heard that
doing in the
song,
playoffs? Was it like mandatory? Like,
I mean, that was like we actually did good enough to be like the last team in, I think. But I mean, it was pretty much everybody in at that point, I think, to a certain extent, except for like 4 teams. But as soon as I heard the song, like it came on the radio on the bus, and I was just like, oh nah.
yeah, that was definitely wild. And remember, they had like two analyst announcers,
Yes.
like the side of the game doing play-by-play, bro. That was some next level type business going on over there in Boonesboro. That joint was out there in the sticks too.
It was crazy. It's only literally like 30, 45 minutes away, but
No, it was more
like,
than that, I feel like. Me and my girl always talk about that trip, yo. That joint was
out
out there.
recently.
It was like cows and horses and hay and corn.
Oh man! All right, what's the first game on the docket today?
All right, let's get to this Saints at Eagles game here, man. Jalen Hurts, man, the dude. My man, Jalen Hurts, man. Y'all know how Awthentik and The Beard do. We got big support for Jalen Hurts over here one time. Jalen Hurts has came a long way since leading the Philadelphia Eagles to an upset victory over the New Orleans Saints in his first career start 11 months ago. The Eagles, 4-6, are favorites this time against the Saints, 5-4, and Hurts is definitely thriving. Hurts' improvement over the past month could change the team's thoughts about pursuing a franchise quarterback in the draft or through a trade after this season. He leads all NFL quarterbacks with 186 yards rushing and is second with a 102.6 passer rating in his last 3 games. The Saints have lost 2 in a row since knocking off Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. They haven't lost 3 straight since the first 3 games of the 2016 season. Miles Sanders is set to return from his ankle injury. How will they use him? I'm not too sure, but let's go over some of these numbers from last week. Rushing-wise, Jordan Howard led the Eagles with 13 carries for 83 yards, and he now has over 200 yards rushing in his 3 appearances since Miles Sanders was out with that ankle injury. Boston Scott added 58 yards on the ground on 10 carries. That was 214 total yards rushing from the Eagles when you add in Jalen Hurts rushing on the ground too. Howard and Scott now each are averaging 5.1 yards per carry on the year. Jalen Hurts, man, continues to just impress, man. 16 of 23. Most of his damage was done in the first half. He had 178 yards through the air with 2 touchdowns, 1 interception late that really almost cost him the game, if you ask me. He had 14 carries for 53 yards, and birthday boy Devonta Smith had 4 receptions for 66 yards last week and 2 touchdowns. I know that the Eagles are looking for more of that from Devonta Smith. Maybe some more catches, but definitely the productivity in the end zone was amazing. Going into that game, he only had 1 red zone target on the year. That boy's making it happen from outside of the red zone. Big fade pass that he caught in his last game last week. Big props to them right now. The Saints defense Their front is number 1 in the league right now as far as rushing. 72.9 yards allowed on the ground per game by this Saints defense, man. They're definitely balling out. Sirianni is looking for his first victory at home again. They're 0-4 during his tenure right now. New Orleans ranks second to last in passing, though, and I think that's going to be something that Jalen Hurts is going to have to figure out a way to make some impact on. He's going to have to make some big throws in this game if the Eagles are going to want to see a victory in this game here. Simeon is getting it a little bit together. I remember I told you a couple weeks back, man, he's looking pretty good, man. Super Bowl winning quarterback, Trevor. You know, when I hear the name Trevor, what I think about? I think about Hillary from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And you remember Trevor was her boyfriend, and when he went to go propose to her, he tried to do it like bungee jumping or jumping out of a plane or something like that. And he was like, "Will you marry me?" And it was like, pop, he hit the ground. He ended up dying, and that's how they didn't end up getting married. But Trevor Siemian, man, 298 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, but he only completed 55% of his throws in a loss last week to the Titans. For me, this is probably the most difficult game to judge who's going to be the victor in this one as far as all the games in the NFC East right now. So I'm a little bit, I don't got the greatest balance here. I don't know who I want to pick. I kind of want to hear what you got to say about this one, and I'm going to make a game time decision after I hear what you got on this one, man. So what you got on this game?
Listen, there's a lot of players injury-wise that I'm watching in this game. You know, you talked about Miles Sanders coming back. So I don't think he's been activated off the IR yet. So I got my eyes glued on that because it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to utilize Miles Sanders. It's crazy to think about how this Eagles team started out the year, just didn't run the ball at all.
At all.
They're now the third ranked rushing team in the National Football League, averaging 144 yards per game. So it's like
balling.
Now, I mean, in the last 3 games, 632 yards on the ground and 6 touchdowns. Now, listen,
I wonder where they was at when they wasn't running the rock too, because they were never dead last in the league, and I remember there was a bunch of games there. Jalen Hurts definitely getting his man on the ground for sure.
I mean, he was their leading rusher. He still is the team's leading rusher at this point, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in those 3 games, they did play the Chargers and the Lions, but they also played the Broncos. And the Broncos have, one of the better defensive fronts in the National Football League. So it'll be interesting to see how they go against the number 1 ranked rush defense like you talked about. I'm also going to keep my eyes on Dallas Goedert as far as the Philadelphia Eagles go.
Yeah, he got banged up last game.
So he's been practicing, I believe, at a limited capacity right now. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get a start because Goddard, for a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, not necessarily just a young quarterback, but a quarterback who's unfortunately forced to be on the run because of the lack of pass blocking ability of the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. It's always good to have a top tier catching tight end when you're a quarterback that has to throw on the run.
Especially a young one.
Yeah, and because that, typically those tight ends are in that intermediate routes, and it's a little bit easier to connect on those passes when you're on the run as opposed to, having to throw the ball down the field. So Goddard's another one I'm keeping my eye on. And then Alvin Kamara for the Saints. He practiced on Wednesday, but then didn't practice today. So tomorrow will be an important day as far as practice goes. Now, we don't know if he didn't practice today because of a setback or because of just, rest. So, for the Saints, Alvin Kamara is just huge. Listen, their 3 wide receivers, I think, have combined for like 49 receptions on the year.
Yeah, they're missing Michael Thomas heavy, man. And, he was supposed to come back off the IR, and then they rule him out pretty much for the season. What's my man, Marquez Callaway, who he's probably their best option at wide receiver. And then they also got that young kid who does some punt return as well, too.
Traquan Smith,
who he gets hurt a lot, but he's a pretty dynamic, electric player.
And the funny thing is neither one of them are their leading receiver. It's Harris who's their leading receiver.
As far as yards go.
Yeah, as far as yards go. So that's going to be super important. And then obviously the big matchup that I'm going to be watching, because let's say the Saints do shut down the run, and Jalen Hurts is forced to make some passes. And, you talked about the Saints pass defense. The matchup is going to be Marshawn Lattimore versus Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
because Marshawn Lattimore, he's not necessarily the same player that he was a few years ago, but he's still amazing. And one of the games earlier this year, I think it was against Washington, he had like the most pass breakups of a player in an NFL game in the last 15 years. So it's just like like he's still able to make plays on the ball. He's just that kind of shows me that he's lost a little step because on a lot of those passes he probably would have gotten the turnover, the interception on previously. But I mean,
Yep.
he's still making big plays. So if Lattimore shuts down Devonta Smith and the Eagles can't run the ball against the Saints defense, where does the offense come from? Quez Watkins, Jalen Reagor, they're going to have to step up. I mean, Goddard's going to be a guide no matter how good or bad the offense is running. So they're going to have a second wide receiver step up. It's the only way they're going to be able to put points up on the board. And the crazy thing is that the Eagles are actually favored in this game. I think the last time I checked, they were 2.5-point favorites. It's also crazy the Eagles they've gotten this far in their season, 4 wins, when everybody thought that they were going to be one of the worst teams in the National Football League, and none of those wins have even come at home. So it's like
that's crazy. You a new head coach and you can't even win in front of the home fans. I know he's feeling a certain kind of way. There's a lot of pressure on Sirianni in this game to get the W, I'm sure.
And it's a lot of pressure on the Saints too, because the Saints are 5-4, Eagles are 4-6. The way that the NFC is set up right now, like technically they're in playoff contention. And
everyone is in playoff contention right now except the Lions, probably.
Yeah, and we talked about this at the beginning of the show. This week 11 is the turning point of when we're going to start seeing some sort of separation. And like in that division, the Saints division, the Falcons, they're 5-6 or 4-5
now. Yeah, I think
4-5. The Saints 5-4. Carolina 5-5. Tampa Bay 6-3. So it's like there's quite the jam log there. And I mean, I know this isn't a divisional game, but this is, against another NFC opponent.
Yeah.
So the Saints got to take care of business here. I mean, I like the way the Eagles are playing. I think
it's funny we're covering all NFC South games today.
Yeah.
Every one of them, because a lot of them are going up against the NFC East.
So I
got Matt tonight.
I like the way the Eagles are playing right now, and I think that momentum is going to carry them. If I knew for a fact right now, and obviously I might change my pick on the parlay, but if I knew for a fact right now that Alvin Kamara was playing, I would have a more difficult time picking the Eagles. But right now, I think I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game, and I think I'm going to take it by a final score of 23-20. Philadelphia
23-20. Yeah, the Saints are a really interesting team. with Jameis Winston out of the lineup. It's kind of strange they didn't really make a move at quarterback. They kind of figured out earlier this year that what's my man's name? I always forget the running quarterback's name.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. They figured out that he's not the guy. He can't throw the ball down the field the way they want to do it. So they're going to keep using him, and he's better suited as like a Swiss Army knife on the offense to be able to have him at tight end, running back, wherever, wide receiver, quarterback, running wildcat option, all of that. But I'm surprised they didn't make a move on quarterback. But I will say that, I will say this again. Trevor Siemian has impressed me with some of the throws that he makes, even some of the ones that aren't completed. He's fitting the ball in the tight windows. He's got good zip on his arm. He seems like a serviceable backup, But I don't know if the Saints are going to be able to make a run with him at quarterback. This is going to be a pivotal game for them. I got to go Eagles here too, man. It's crazy how the Eagles are just like leaning towards being a pretty decent team right now. And I don't know if maybe the schedule.
Know why? I mean, it's
Jalen Hurts.
Well, yes, obviously, but because they're running the ball. Listen,
yeah, definitely running the ball.
I know we are in 2021. I know the NFL is about points, high flying, spread them out offenses. But listen, and we talked about this briefly on Tuesday. You ask any coach at any level of football, and they will tell you there's nothing more important than establishing a run game. It doesn't even have to be, like how they're running for these 200 yards per game in the last 3 games, right?
Yeah, it could be like how Washington did it last week with Taylor Heineke. But, the thing about younger quarterbacks like that, that's their best friend is that running game.
Absolutely.
If you got a guy who's a unicorn, Lamar Jackson, some of the top quarterbacks in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, you don't necessarily have to have the running game all the way clicking. I even think that's the case with Dallas, but Dallas is much better served when Dak Prescott has a running game. But for younger quarterbacks like this, really trying to establish themselves and put themselves on notice for the rest of the league, a guy like Jalen Hurts, the running game's definitely helping him out, especially as a running quarterback himself.
Yeah, and one name that we forgot to mention, we talked about when we were answering the fantasy question, is Mark Ingram. Last week, Mark
Yeah.
Ingram was, I mean, he made some, like, he was lining up spread out as a wide receiver, and he made like 2 or 3 catches like down the
Tricky
field,
with
like
that
literally
new
running
number,
a
too,
route.
rocking
It
at
is.
14. I'm like,
So
who is this
weird.
guy?
It's so weird. So I mean, it's just difficult for me because I know how pivotal Alvin Kamara is to that Saints team.
Yeah.
It's just, and the way that
In the receiving game
the
as well.
Eagles are playing. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like he makes the defense they're on their heels. It's just a
Yeah.
fact. But, the Eagles are playing lights out, and, we'll know a little bit more Sunday morning, obviously, when we get to the parlay as far as Goddard, Miles Sanders, and Alvin Kamara. But right now, I just think that the Eagles are going to come out on top in this game. But like I said, Quez Watkins, Jalen Reagor,
Yeah.
you're going to have to step up at some point.
Quez Watkins can't have no big drop like he had last week. Can't do
like
that.
Nelson Aguilar out there.
And Jalen Hurts can't throw a late interception like he did last week either. That's going to come back to bite them. Now, I just want to ask you one question, and I also want to go over the schedule for the Eagles, the remaining games, just to see like if we're kind of on pace, because we both picked them to have 5 wins on the year. They're already at 4 wins. But I want to ask you this. With Miles Sanders, right, coming back off the injury, and we got to give Sirianni kudos to find out that Jordan Howard is still a guy, to rely on Boston Scott. How much do you implement Miles Sanders into this game plan coming up here on Sunday?
If he's healthy, I think I use him like how they're using Boston Scott right now.
Yeah, kind of
mean,
the second back, relief back.
Yeah, I mean, not even just like I would have like some more package plays for Miles Sanders, utilizing his athletic ability, his versatility.
Yeah.
Like I love it when you see teams put in these packages where they have both of their running backs on the field at the same time. Because
that's rare. That's rare you see that.
Really puts the defense in an awkward position.
Yeah, because with a guy like Miles Sanders, when you bring him in the game, defenses are going to key in on him. This kind of goes back to something I had an opinion on about Kadarius Toney. People they'll see the Giants run a reverse with Sterling Shepard and they go, "You should be doing that with Kadarius Toney." The whole thing about doing those kind of plays is you want to catch the defense off guard. Mm-hmm. When you bring in a guy like Toney into the game, that's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for those reverse plays, quick stop routes, quick short routes, get the ball in his hands in open space to get him going. So with Miles Sanders, I 100% agree with what you're saying about more packages, maybe where you got 2 running backs on the field, because for a defense, you don't know who to key in on. You can have different types of read options where you could go straight to Jordan Howard and have Miles Sanders be an option on it, and you could just hand it up the gut to Jordan Howard, or go to the outside read option with Miles Sanders as well, and it'll keep defenses off balance. So I know a lot of people be like, well, that's working. Why don't you just keep going with that? The NFL doesn't work like that. You can't. It's not Madden where it's like, yo, the flood route right works every time because the CPU defender safety goes back deep and I'm always had that route. It's not like that. Defenses are going to key in on things, and you have to be able to make on-the-fly adjustments, kind of like how the Giants did in the Saints game with Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones, where he has to come back and go, hey, next time we run that play, we're going to look for this little out-and-up vibe. I'm seeing it. It might open up because they're overplaying it when they know I'm out there, and then voila, you get 7 points on the board. So I 100% agree with what you're saying about Miles Sanders. You don't want to bring him back and make him be the feature back on the day and completely change up what has been working for you with Jordan Howard and Boston Scott already.
Yeah, ease him back into things too. Just because you don't, especially with those sort of injuries, you don't know how the body's going to react to real game action. So it's like if you put together an entire game plan of Miles Sanders, and then you know what I'm saying, he goes down after like 3 or 4 runs. Like now you're scrambling to reinstitute a completely different game plan. But
Facts.
before we move on, I just wanted to bring up Jeff's comment because I think that this is an amazing comparison to use, Miles Sanders like Ahmad Bradshaw, Jordan Howard like Brandon Jacobs, and Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell like Ward. So I think that's a great comparison, and I think that's to have that 3 back like that, and even with them, we're talking about 4 backs with Boston
with
Scott,
quarterback.
Kenneth Gainwell.
Oh, and
I mean,
5 with Gainwell.
Jalen Hurts. I mean, like,
yeah.
dude, that's kind of crazy. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it's not easy. That's a task as a head coach.
It is.
To try and figure out how to do that, head coach, offensive coordinator. So
and for
really
GMs, figuring out the money, because you got to have guys on the right kind of contracts to even think about having 3 to 4 guys in the backfield.
Yeah, and we remember we're going against the Saints, who are the #1 rush defense in the National Football League. So
big facts, man. So I'm gonna pull up the schedule real quickly right now, and let's just go through this. And I just kind of want to see how many more wins. And let's remove Sunday's game for them, which is against the Saints. So let's start from week 12. You got Giants, Jets, Washington, New York, Washington, Cowboys. How many more wins do you see in those last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games? How many more wins are you seeing for the Philadelphia Eagles?
I could see 3 wins.
I could see 3 wins. So we're looking at, right now they got 4 wins. That's 7. If they can win this game on Sunday, that's 8 wins. They're going to be in the playoff hunt. And the Eagles always do it, man. They start off slow, and then right when you get to that back half of the season, the Eagles are right there, trying to contend for a playoff spot, man. So we'll see how this goes, man. Best of luck to Philadelphia Eagles fans and that team. Me as a Giants fan, I got to root for losses from here on out. So even though I picked the Eagles to win, I'm going to be crossing my fingers that the Saints can somehow find a way to get this win with a backup quarterback and possibly without their starting running back. It's going to be tough, but that signing of Mark Ingram might show up to be extremely pivotal in this game. We'll see how that goes.
Look at that Week 14 bye. Crazy.
A Week 14 bye. Come on, cuz.
And they get their bye right before they go into the NFC East Legion of Doom.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. And the bye can be a blessing or it can be a curse for some teams. You saw the Bucs come out the bye. They lost. I was talking with somebody on Twitter was telling me about this, about teams historically coming out the bye losing. And I pointed to the Cardinals, I believe, and a few other teams that had won coming off the bye. But lately, it has seemed like that. Coming off the bye has been very difficult for a lot of teams, man. So we'll see how the Philadelphia Eagles can do coming out that bye Week 14. Man, Week 11 is going to be this is the week, man. This is the week. We're going to find out a lot of information after these games on Sunday.
We going to see.
Are we going to see? Are we going to get there? I don't know. But we going to see it. We going to see, man. All right, let's move into this next one, man. Cowboys at Chiefs one time. The Dallas Cowboys showdown with the Kansas City Chiefs is the highlight of the NFL's Week 11 slate of games. With both teams coming off dominant wins, there will be no shortage of confidence, and the winner will be taking serious momentum into the home stretch of the regular season. The Cowboys bounced back in a major way in Week 10. After a disappointing showing against the Denver Broncos, the offense reappeared with a 43-point deep frying, as I like to say, of the Atlanta Falcons defense. The Chiefs are coming off Patrick Mahomes' best game of the season with a dominant 41-14 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders, where Mahomes finished the day with 406 yards and 5 tutters, man. That boy was back to his normal ways. It all sets up a massive showdown on Sunday afternoon between two of the best offenses in the NFL. The Cowboys lead the NFL right now in total yards per game at 433.9 per, and they lead the NFL in points per game at 31.6. The last time the Cowboys finished their season leading both categories was in 1971. You know what happened in 1971? The Dallas Cowboys won their first Super Bowl title. Dak Prescott leads the league with a 110.8 passer rating. Definitely balling out, man. There's a couple of big matchups in this game, man. I definitely think the Cowboys are going to have to get their running game clicking primarily, but what are you seeing in this matchup?
Okay, this is going to come down to a few things. The only difference between these two teams right now, in my opinion, is the turnover margin.
The running game.
Well, the running game for sure. Yeah.
You like
okay,
that, right?
But listen, Chiefs might be getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire back this week. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a different type of back than Williams is.
Yeah, for sure.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire can go 30 carries in a game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
He's one of those guys who can put the ground game on his back and truck through it. Now, these two teams are very similar. Don't get it twisted because the Chiefs' defense was so bad at points during this season. Because the Cowboys, if it wasn't for the turnovers that the Cowboys are forcing, their defense
would be bad.
It wouldn't be that good.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs offense, if the Chiefs offense didn't turn the ball over so much, they would be a lot better than what they are right now too. So this
Yeah.
game is going to
Leading the
come
league
down
right now.
to who can, force turnovers and who can, not turn the ball over. Like it's going to be very, very interesting how that's going to play out. I got to get to this super chat before I break down this game anymore because I ain't seen Bobby.
Bobby,
in a
what's up, my
long
man?
time, man? What's going on, Bobby? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. I mean, Travis Kelce versus the cover 2 is going to be crazy because let's assume the Cowboys are going to be playing cover 2, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to, put a lot of pressure on Travis Kelce to come up with a big game. Okay, so that's going to be important. Now, Trayvon Diggs, Patrick Mahomes can't make a mistake. But if Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill or Mecole Hardman are on the same page, there's going to be a point in this game where that big play is going to open up. Because we've seen it before against Trayvon Diggs where, he's very premeditated at times. Okay,
Yeah.
where
Very aggressive cornerback. He's
very
looking
aggressive.
for the pick.
Exactly. So, you have to be careful if you're Trayvon Diggs against a team like the Chiefs because the Chiefs offense moves and operates different than any other offense in the National Football League. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a game of who makes the least amount of mistakes, whether it be penalties, blown coverage, missed assignment, turnovers, because the teams are so similar. And to me, that's what the big difference is going to be. Kansas City is 4-1 in their last 5 games, right? They're 3-0 in the last 3 games. That defense is only allowing 12.6 points per game over those last 3 games. Okay, so like
solid numbers right there. And who are those games against? That's the Raiders? That's the
Raiders,
Titans, I believe.
No, the Titans was the loss.
Titans was the loss.
The last 3 games was
the last 3 wins, you're saying.
Last 3 wins, yeah.
Got you.
Was I think
Washington's gonna be on there.
Giants and Raiders.
Yeah, right? Washington, Giants, and Raiders, yep.
Yeah, so they're only giving up 12.6 points per game over those last 3 games. And a lot of that has to do with the return of Melvin Ingram. So I think, Melvin Ingram is playing a big part. He kind of gives you that presence, in and around the line of scrimmage, and then allows Tyrann Mathieu to do a little bit more in the back end of that defense.
Yeah.
Now, for the Cowboys, they're going to have to be careful because, our guy who we love, Gregory, okay?
Yeah, Randy
he's
Gregory.
super aggressive. But you got to be a little bit more cautious with your aggression against Patrick Mahomes because he will burn you if you over pursue.
Got to contain him. And so Randy Gregory is he's supposed to be coming back off the injury this week.
I believe so.
Or was it COVID for him? I can't remember if it was an injury.
But I think he's going to be back.
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure. Obviously,
Cowboys going to need him.
We're going to have to wait till Sunday. But even so, Micah Parsons, if it's the same sort of situation because both of those guys are playing lights out football right now.
Yeah, Parsons leads all NFL rookies right now, 6 sacks on the season. He's 2 shy of DeMarcus Ware's 2005 club rookie record of 8. So I'd imagine he's going to get that in a couple of games left here for sure.
And then Jeff's saying he thinks DeMarcus Lawrence is going to be back too. He might be. It's crazy. We forgot about him.
We really did.
We all forgot about him.
What I was thinking about today was Jalen Smith. Where did he get traded to? Was it the Packers?
Oh, he got signed by the Packers and he got released again.
And they released him.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on with him. That's really
man,
strange. I thought about him today and I was like, I haven't seen him on the field.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy, Notre Dame.
Yeah, he was a baller for some years there too.
He was. So I just the Chiefs are moving in the right direction, and it's hard to bet against the Cowboys because I was super impressed by the Cowboys' ability to bounce back so aggressively after that loss. That says a lot to me about the characters, the character and the culture in that locker room. So Monique says Gregory won't be back this week, probably not until after Thanksgiving.
I got you.
So
yeah, that's going to be pivotal for them. So, you would hope they get Lawrence back to be able to get a little bit more pressure on Patrick Mahomes because if he has time, he's going to pick that defense apart. And I think it limits the chances of the Cowboys winning unless their offense is going to be able to go out there and, compete in a shootout pretty much. It's stopping Kelsey's going to be one of their number one things, and like you said, I don't think they got the guy to really do it. We saw some success with the Giants, putting James Bradbury, a bigger stature cornerback, in the slot against Kelsey, but I don't think that the Cowboys have that kind of guy. So they're going to have to rely on strong safeties and linebackers to step up in coverage to try to stop Kelsey.
And
Kelsey
that's what's
is
interesting
Mhm.
because last week they were able to put Trayvon Diggs on Kyle Pitts,
Yeah, but
but
Kyle Pitts still got off. He still got
yeah,
off.
and but like you can't do that against the Chiefs because they have Tyreek Hill and
Yeah, they'll
Mecole
peel your
Hardman.
cap off the top, and they'll get those
Exactly.
deep plays. I was going to say that Travis Kelsey has caught a pass in 121 straight games. It's the fourth longest active streak in the NFL right now, which is really ridiculous. So Randy Gregory is on IR. That's not what's up, but that's good to know for Cowboys fans for sure. And Lawrence is
So
also not expected until December. He hasn't been back to practice yet. Man, that's unfortunate for y'all. So maybe Parsons is going to have to come back down on the line again and try to get some more pressure on the quarterback. I mean, he is the guy that's suited to do that for sure. Micah Parsons is a baller. He's one that I'm like, man, the Giants missed out on trying to scoop a guy like that. We need a player like that on our team. And the Cowboys, I don't know what it is about Jerry Jones and that whole front office over there, but they know how to find talent, man. They really know how to find talent. My man, as they're starting to call him now, not CD Lamb, but TD Lamb. I'm starting to like that because my man been in the end zone a lot. That dude, he's starting to really become a down the field threat now, and we already knew he was a threat in the intermediate routes already. CD
is
Lamb, man, in a
Yak.
couple years, he could be that guy. He could,
He
I don't know
got
what they're gonna do with
Yak.
Cooper, but he gonna
He
be that
got
guy.
Yak. It's
Yeah,
crazy. I was looking at the stats like today when I was doing the ticker, and it's kind of crazy because you look at like his stats next to Tyreek Hill, and you're so used to Tyreek Hill having, in a very high average yard per reception, right?
for sure.
But so CeeDee Lamb has 47 catches, 726 yards on 47 catches.
Yeah,
You
he's
know,
he's
like
doing it up.
that's a nice like amount of yards per
Right, week
catch, and I think
11,
yeah, I mean he's gonna crack. He's gonna probably
easy
get
gonna
around
crack 1,000.
1,200. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I would imagine he get around 12, 1,300. But Tyreek Hill is like double the catches and like right around the same yardage, a
Yeah,
little bit more
but Tyreek
yards.
Hill is used more in the short passing game too sometimes
Exactly.
with this because they set it up for the over the top plays. He gets a lot of stop routes, a lot of screens, a lot of quick slants. He can do it all. Both of those guys are really underrated wide receivers, if you ask me, man. Tyreek Hill, a lot of people don't put him in the top 5 in the league, but defenses, when you
You
got to
have
try to
to.
scheme against the Kansas City Chiefs, he's the main guy you trying to stop
Hmm.
first, and then it's Kelsey.
Like, I mean, think about like how amazing that is as an offensive coordinator, being like, okay, well, you guys aren't gonna, you're gonna leave Hill, you're gonna double him up. I have Travis Kelsey. I'll just dump it
That's the
off to him
beautiful thing
all
about a
day.
team with identity, man. Like the identity on that team is not just one guy. It starts with the one guy at the quarterback position for sure. But then you got Travis Kelsey and Tyreek Hill, both of them. You got to figure out ways to stop all three of them. Patrick Mahomes can destroy a defense without even having big games from Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelsey. He's that good of a quarterback. So I mean, I don't know how it's gonna, how the Cowboys are gonna be able to stop this Chiefs offense if they are in top gear like we saw them last week. Mahomes, that was his third game with 400 yards and 5 touchdowns since he's been in the league right now. Or actually, it was his third career game of those statistics. Um, and I just think, I don't know, man. A lot of people were down on the Kansas City Chiefs because of how they started. But I've been saying this since about week 1, week 2. The schedule. They have played
Hmm.
nothing but juggernauts back to back to back to back. They've been playing great teams. And now finally it's starting to kind of flatten out a little bit. And people are wondering, like, how did the Chiefs were just at the bottom of the division like 2 weeks ago, and now they're in first place.
That's another division it's pretty much exactly the same laid out as the NFC South. I think literally it might be like exact records from top to bottom
Yeah.
matching.
Yeah, because I
So
think the
like
Chargers now fell somewhere down near the bottom, I believe, or the Raiders fell to the bottom.
yeah, the Broncos are 5-5.
Oh,
I
and
think
the
now.
Broncos now. Are the
Yeah,
Broncos still 500?
I think so. I think the Broncos are 500. I think the Chargers are 6-4 or 5-4.
Chargers are sitting at 5-4 right now. You're right on the Broncos being at 500, and the Raiders are sitting at 5-4, and the Chiefs are sitting at 6-4. The Chargers, man, I'm starting to lose faith in them a little bit. Like, I think they'll be in the mix to try to get into a wild card position, but I'm starting to lose a little bit of faith in them. I don't know. I think that the Raiders, too much turmoil going on in that locker room, that they're probably going to fall out. Maybe we don't even get a wild card from this division. We'll see. We'll see. We got a lot of football left to play for sure.
Yeah,
but we'll definitely see.
Is on the come up. But we'll get to this super chat from Tudo, and then I will make my pick. You want to hit that super chat?
Tudo, my man Tudo in the building. Y'all know what it is, man. Giants Nation one time, man. We appreciate you pulling up, man, supporting the podcast. As always, Tudo is like every podcast here supporting us, man. Big shout out to you, bro. He says, salute to you, Awthentik. Drop by your office to pay our proper respects and turn on the lights for the sit down and kick all stinky Eagles fans on the way out. Big cheers to the homie Tudo one time in the building, man. We appreciate you, brother. You already know.
Brother. Appreciate it. So I'm going to go Kansas City Chiefs.
Wait a minute. You know, BB Jones, you don't like these roadmaps, bro, that you be trying to make to.
Look, I wasn't even able to give you guys a real legitimate roadmap because it's just.
This going to be as our graphics department would like us to share the graphics one time.
You could definitely throw that up there.
This is going to be a boat race.
It's
definitely going to be a boat
Watch
race.
It be like 17-14.
I know, right? Well, I'll tell you some things that the Cowboys got going against them before you make your pick. You use these however you want to use them right now. Patrick Mahomes is 11-2 against the NFC in his career. This year, he's 3-0 against the NFC East. So just use that. Remember when we used the Lamar Jackson against the NFC? I believe he was undefeated. The game was real close. He ended up getting the dub. Go ahead and make your pick.
38-35 Kansas City Chiefs.
That's super close. That's super close. I think this is going to be the first game that the Cowboys are not in it. I'm going to go Chiefs.
Broncos.
Well, yeah, they weren't in that one for sure. Second game, the Cowboys are going to be in it. I'm going to go Chiefs in this one, man. I'm going to go 35-21 Kansas City Chiefs.
Not looking good for the Cowboys.
It's not looking good. And I hope the Kansas City defense can continue to do what they did against the Raiders. They held the Raiders to 1 of 9 on third downs last week. So hopefully they can continue that trend and make this a little bit closer for the NFC East. Yeah, that's huge. You know, they didn't have to deal with this kind of a running game when you're going up against the Raiders. It's going to be tough to stop the Cowboys. Dare I say the Cowboys got more weapons than the Kansas City Chiefs?
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah, right. Because you got Pollard, you got Zeke, you got CeeDee Lamb, you got Amari Cooper, you got what's my homie Jarwin at tight end, and who's the other one? Dalton Schultz, who he's the primary tight end right now, balling out. Like, they got weapons over there. And then Dak Prescott at quarterback is not much of a regression from Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. Very different styles, but man, Dak Prescott, he's just been having a fantastic year, man. Cowboys coming in with that number one offense. This should be a good game. It wouldn't surprise me if the score is kind of close to what you're saying, but I just don't see the Cowboys doing it. I think they're going to come in with a little bit too much confidence after that thrashing they gave the Atlanta Falcons last week, but being for a bit of a rude awakening against the Chiefs.
Got to give another big shout out to the homie Tudo for the $4.99 super chat. Says Awthentik, the New York Giant, all-time legend, and the best football analysis on the planet.
Nice of me, Tudo.
Like Captain Planet, he's our hero. We all diehard Giants fans from Italy. All respects.
I like the Captain Planet little nod you gave there. I need to do more for my environment for sure.
Yeah. Captain Planet, he's a hero. Gonna take pollution down to a 0. I still don't understand how they fit that in.
What's that next
there.
line though? What's the next?
I don't know.
No
Earth,
one knows.
Wind.
No, not that part.
Fire.
I'm talking about the third line of the singing. Yeah. And then what do all the Planeteers say when they all like mount up to like say something at the same time? I have no idea. I've got no idea.
Weren't they supposed to make that into a
don't say
like
a movie.
Yeah.
Nah,
a real like action movie, like with like
Captain
real
Planet
people?
was blue. Well, he was blue. He had blue skin, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Avatar.
It was terrible. Oh God, the visuals, man, they should have waited like 10 years to do Avatar. Because the whole visual effects, when you go back and you go look at that looks really bad now. And I know they waited like 10 years, 15 years to just make that movie because they needed technology to catch up. But yeah, that Avatar, the concept's so much better than the actual film was.
I think it would be dope. But
the
Cowboys might need Captain Planet.
They might. They might need some wind, some water, in Kansas City. Maybe that might help them out a little bit. Some snow. I don't know which one did snow, but sure.
No, I mean, they didn't do snow, but, when wind and rain come together, it snows in Kansas City in November, maybe.
Fire, there was fire. Yeah, shout out Captain Planet, but you won't see me checking for that film. I'm keeping focused with you. All right, let's get to this next game one time. I got a long opener for this Washington game one time, okay. So we'll take a commercial break after the Washington game, not right now.
You got it.
All right, let's do this here. We gotta get some music for this one too. All right, so Ron Rivera knew at some point he was going to have to prepare a game plan to face his former quarterback and longtime friend Cam Newton. That time is here, and I know the beard is shaking in his boots one time right now. Newton is expected to start Sunday when the Panthers, 5-5, host the Washington football team in a game that pits a quarterback against his former coach of 9 seasons in Carolina. Rivera was fired late in 2019, and Cam Newton was let go the following offseason by a new Panthers regime. But Newton rejoined the Panthers last week on a 1-year deal after Carolina's quarterback situation reached the point of desperation after struggling starter Sam Darnold went down with a 4 to 6 week shoulder injury. The 32-year-old quarterback return couldn't have gone any better as he provided an instant jolt to the offense, scoring touchdowns the first 2 times he touched the ball coming off the bench in Carolina's 34-10 upset win on the road last week against the Arizona Cardinals. He has single-handedly rejuvenated a team that has lost 5 of his 6 previous games. Washington comes off of their most impressive win of the year against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where Taylor Heineke played one of his best games of the year to keep Washington's paper-thin playoff chances alive, improving their record to 3-6 on the season. For me, I know you got a lot for this game. For me, man, the main event of the night is going to be Christian McCaffrey versus this banged-up Washington front. No Montez Sweat, no Chase Young for the year. Christian McCaffrey had 161 yards from scrimmage last week, 13 rushes for 95 yards, 10 receptions. The man had 10 receptions for 66 yards. McCaffrey has 11 games with 10 or more catches during his career. That is the most by a running back in NFL history, but he has no rushing touchdowns on the season so far this year. Washington has the 6th ranked run defense, but the 30th ranked pass defense. So for me, it's going to be pick your poison for CMC. A couple little bars right there for y'all. The Beard, what you got for this one?
Before we get to it, big shout out to Tuto for $4.99 super chat. Says, if New York Giants had me, I'd tear Tom into pieces and don't care if I got banned for playing ever again. All I need is a half a chance to get my hand on him.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. We're going to need Tudo on that front, man, this Monday night for sure.
New York Chris, I was definitely upset. I think it
that
hurts.
was horrible news.
Yeah, it hurts so much as far as like the leadership on the field and in the locker room too. Even more so than just the play on the field. And it's interesting because, no Montez Sweat, no Chase Young. So it's really going to show in this game, I think, because Washington is really good against the run, particularly in the middle of the field, as far as like, that interior defensive lineman. And it's more so of, once they get to that second level, the linebackers actually being able to plug the holes. They do struggle with that at times. They've improved drastically over the last few weeks, but the edges are going to be so important in a game like this. McCaffrey. So for me, it's the screen plays, the flats, like those linebackers are going to have to find a way to step it up, because if not, McCaffrey's going to toast us. That's just the fact, and DJ Moore is somebody that you're going to have to keep your eyes on as well. And it's just, I'm scared because, a few weeks ago, I was like, oh, man, this is great. Sam Darnold, no Christian McCaffrey. Like, this game's going to be good. Now it's like we're looking, I feel like, at like a completely different team with Cam Newton at quarterback, a healthy Christian McCaffrey. And now what's even more important for Carolina is that they got a chance to see that Chuba Hubbard he's a running back. He's a National Football League running back. So it's like now you can kind of like you can put him in to kind of relieve McCaffrey to get a little bit more of those tougher yards, and then save McCaffrey for a little bit more of the finesse plays, around the edges and the screens and the flats and things like that. So it's like they look a lot scarier. And then we're Cam's first game back in Carolina, Ron Rivera, Taylor Heineke going back to Carolina. So it's just there's a lot of emotion in this game.
Your new kicker was Mr. Sly was in Carolina too.
Carolina also. I mean, listen, it would take me 20 minutes to tell you all the people on Washington's team that played at Carolina because there is a slew of them. Now, the guys on the edge are going to be Shaka Toney, who had a big sack last week. So he's going to be a rookie out of Penn State. He's going to be a guy to keep your eyes on. The other name is James Smith Williams. The law firm.
Two common last names.
Yeah,
James Smith and Williams.
James Smith
he said
Williams.
The law firm.
Yeah, that's so he's gonna. Those are gonna be the two guys that are gonna have to step up in the absence of Chase Young and Montez Sweat. So I put together a map. I put together a map. I've typed in victory in Charlotte into my Waze app. And this is how the directions read, okay? So in case anybody was wondering, I'm going to turn this way. All right. So you got to run the ball between 30 and 40 times. Washington does. Okay? That's the first
30 and 40 times. I like it.
That's so for 30 miles, you're going to be on 95 and you have to run the ball 30 to 40 times on 95, okay? Keeping Christian McCaffrey below 100 all-purpose yards. Okay? That's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough.
That's going to be tough. But we got to keep McCaffrey under 100 all-purpose yards. DJ Moore. You got to keep DJ Moore under 75 yards. The drop-off from DJ Moore to Robbie Anderson is drastic.
Let's not forget, though, Robbie Anderson, he seems revived with Cam Newton out there. He caught a touchdown last week, and he hasn't had a lot of touchdowns this year.
Very true. Very true. But DJ Moore is the guy I'm keying in on here. Under 75 yards for DJ Moore. 30 to 40 rushes for Washington football team. McCaffrey under 100 total all-purpose yards. Hassan Reddick, 0 sacks. That's going to be super important also.
He's got 5.5 at home this year. He's got 10 sacks on the season.
Yeah. And
good luck. You ever seen Taken?
Yes.
Good luck.
With Liam Nielsen.
Liam
Neeson.
Yeah, that's my guy. That's one of my favorite movies. Good luck.
And 0 turnovers.
0 turnovers. You might be able to sneak out with that. That'll give you a close game for sure. I think for Christian McCaffrey, you might want to lower the number a little bit, maybe 85. You let him get about 99.
He's gonna. You gotta think about it. I don't mind if he got like 50 yards rushing and or 40 yards rushing and 50 yards receiving. I feel like that's a reasonable goal. It's something that's obtainable.
Yeah, coming off the 161 last week.
Exactly.
Only on 13 carries, got almost 100 yards.
That's the thing, is the big plays. And I think a lot of that's going to come with, you got to have the contain on the outsides. And the linebackers, there's going to have to be a lot of gap responsibility on the defense against a team like Carolina. And who knows what Cam is going to be fired up. It's the Carolina Panthers, or the Carolina Panthers, or the Carolina Panthers, whichever one you want to go with, But it's going to be a tough game, and this game is a little bit scarier, just with all the non-football aspects that are going into it. But I do think there's this feeling I have, okay? I got a feeling, and it's more of an overall view of the way things are coming down now, like how they did in years past when they made these sort of, runs after a slow start. So I am going to go with the Washington football team to come out on top. It's going to be a Joey Sly revenge game-winning kick. 23-20. 20 Washington football team wins.
Add that one.
Add the one. Add the one.
23-21. I got a feeling that's a little better.
We got a feeling.
We got a
Big
feeling.
shout out to Tuto for the $9.99 super
You're not
chat.
going to like this one, by the way.
Oh, jeez. Washington football team's young would get lost in our dust. Keep in mind, rugby is a full contact, and we don't have any unnecessary roughness or chopping block rules and no pads or body protection. I don't know, man. Chase Young, Ja Rip, though.
Yeah, Chase Young's a baller, man.
Shout out Coach
I don't know if
Soso.
he
If you watching us on Facebook right now, Coach Soso, he's a rugby OG.
Big
You're
shout
always
out
trying
to
to get
Sosa.
people to play rugby, man. I be keeping my eye on that Mo County rugby squads. You know what I'm saying? Because Coach Soso be posting about it. So shout out Coach Soso.
Big shout out, Coach Sosa. Big shout out to Tudo, 2 one time in the building, bro. We appreciate you supporting the channel, man. Definitely couldn't do it without all of y'all in the chat. One time, the fam is in the chat. All right, man. So I got a couple little nuggets here I want to go over. I like the roadmap that you presented there. It sounded good. Sounds going to be a smooth, easy drive if everything goes according to schedule. I don't know if things are going to go according to schedule. Washington right now is looking for their first back-to-back wins of the season. So that's going against y'all. I'm a big Taylor Heineke fan. He had a couple game stretch there where I almost lost hope for my guy. I'm going to keep it funky with you. But last week, the 26 of 32 for 256 yards and a touchdown versus the Bucs. He had an 81.3 completion percentage. It was the best of his career. That's why a lot of people were saying that was his best game. You're going to have to rely heavily on that running game. And even if it's not working, just like last week, Gibson rushed for the 2 touchdowns against the Bucs. He only had 60 yards on 20 carries, but they committed to the run. And that's what out of teams like ours, bro, Washington and the New York Giants, those are the kind of game plans I like the most, where you just rely on it. If it ain't working, whatever, because play action is going to open up things down the field for Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin leads the Washington football team right now, 632 yards receiving, and he's got 4 touchdowns already. So that he's already projected to have more touchdowns than he's ever had in his career. He was always looming low in the touchdown category, I feel like. And now it seems like maybe he could double that up by year's end, get himself about 8 touchdowns. I like what I saw of your linebacker core last week, especially in coverage last week too. Cole Holcomb has made at least 5 tackles in 14 consecutive games dating back to last season. I like that. And I like your first-round pick, Jamin Davis. He's one of 3 rookie linebackers right now with 40-plus tackles, so that's looking like it's going to be a good pick. A lot of people were down on him after the first couple games, thinking that was a bad pick. Like what I saw out of the secondary play last week, too. The 2 early interceptions on Tom Brady. You had William Jackson get one. You had Bobby McCain get another. Cam Curl was out there doing some things. I even saw Landon Collins doing some celebrating the last 2 games. I'm like, maybe he's kind of coming around here. Curl led y'all with 7 tackles against the Bucs. Right now, the Panthers, I don't know if I could bank on them with this newly quarterback situation they got going here. You seem to be more scared that Cam Newton is in the lineup. I don't know how I feel about it because Cam Newton really hasn't played good consecutive football for about 3 seasons now, dating all the way back to when he was with Carolina, previous to going to the Patriots. Now, he only played 12% of the snaps on Sunday. I know it looked good when you watch Red Zone and you're looking at the highlights the next day and whatnot. You're looking at Overreaction Monday and you check the highlights and whatnot, and you see Cam get in the end zone twice. You go, oh, man, I'm a little shook. But at the end of the day, he only played 12% of the snaps. So I don't know how much fear that puts in my heart if I'm a Washington football team fan. I know that you're thinking old Cam. Cam Newton has 71 career touchdowns rushing and 43 games with both a touchdown passing and rushing. It's the most by a quarterback in NFL history. The Panthers are 4-1 when McCaffrey is in the lineup this season. So I know that's probably the scariest part about it all. Along with Hassan Reddick on that defensive side of the ball. We talked about his 10 sacks on the season right now. He's definitely balling out. And Carolina's defense is limiting its opponents to just 33.1% on third down conversion attempts. So third down for Taylor Heineke, I'd look for Taylor Heineke to pick up a lot of third downs with his legs. Coverage will probably be strapped down the field where he's going to have to find a way to maneuver through that little pocket and make his way through the center of the pocket to be able to run and pick up first downs. And I think if the Carolina Panthers are going to have, if they want to see a victory in this game, we know Washington's going to try to shut down DJ Moore like you talked about. Robbie Anderson's going to have a big game. I don't know if Cam can lead them to a victory. I'm sketchy on this pick. My heart is leaning towards the Carolina Panthers, but Washington is coming off their biggest win of the season. I talked about the Cowboys coming off that win against the Falcons, and maybe that could instill a little bit too much confidence in them. I think with this win that the Washington football team got against the Bucs, it might make you pump your chest out a little bit. Like, yeah, we kind of got something going here. And if Antonio Gibson is healthy, like we think he is healthy, because we saw them neglect the carries for Antonio Gibson in the previous week. Even though he was out there, you could tell something wasn't right. He was a little bit banged up. If they can go into this game and get him the 20 carries that, we know he deserves, find a way to get McKissick involved in this passing game, I'm going to go with the same exact score that you picked. I think that this is going to be one of those games. It's going to be late. Cam Newton's going to be trying to do things in the fourth quarter to put his team over the top. Same thing with Taylor Heineke. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. I think that the Washington football team will be down by 1 point late in this game. And like you said, I think Sly's going to go down there. It might not be a game winner with the clock running out, but it's going to be the last points to be put up on the board, and Washington's going to win that game 23-21. I'm with you on that.
And also, I think it's super important for Washington to establish dominance early.
Because just like they did on the Bucs.
Yeah, because I think with Cam, it's not necessarily even about the play; it's about the energy. Like you don't want him to get like last week. It was like he stepped on the field and had a touchdown in his first 2 plays.
Right,
and that game was over after that.
And that was a home game last week as well, right?
No, that was in Arizona.
Oh my! And man, when he started celebrating, he was looking at the crowd. That looked like they was all like, "Yeah, let's go, Cam out there like this.
I'm back.
Was like, I'm back." And then he wore the shirt in the press conference. I loved it, man.
So
I love seeing Cam Newton playing great football, bro. It's better for the league. It's just better for the league when Cam is playing good football. So I hope it's unfortunate for Sam Darnold over there. If Cam Newton does end up playing well, they're going to have a decision to make at the end of the year. And this might be the transition of Sam Darnold turning into a backup quarterback in the league, and you see him as a second stringer for most of the rest of his career. But it wouldn't surprise me if Cam Newton comes out there and can't play good, consistent football. It won't surprise me because we haven't seen it in a long time. Granted, he wasn't healthy a lot of that time in the end of his tenure, the first tenure there in Carolina. But even when he was healthy with the Patriots, didn't have a lot of weapons over there, but it just didn't look great. I think they only got 7 wins on the season that 1 year that Cam Newton was over there. So I'm just not completely sold on it. But Cam Newton, man, he has shown that he is a baller in this league. We can't forget what him and Ron Rivera did in Cam's rookie season. He took that team to the playoffs, deep into the playoffs, 15-win season. He's capable. We know he's capable. And I do understand why you're a little bit more afraid of the game plan with Cam Newton in, because you got a lot more to scheme for defensively. You're going to have to stop a running quarterback, and now you're going to have to stop the best hybrid running back in the NFL.
Absolutely. And then I got to give a big shout-out to Tuto for the $4.99 super chat. Says all average players are losers. Lehu Zahir. Nothing less than elite ain't good enough. Beast mode is
like it.
On, giving 120% daily and still counting. Shout out Tuto.
Shout out Big Tuto in the building one time, man. Supports this Giants community.
Shout out to the homie Nathan. Says Washington is winning this game 20-16. Make sure you guys check them out at Ref the District on YouTube. They're always putting out amazing content.
Big shout out Nathan and Ref the District one time in the building.
Collins played well the last 3 games.
Yeah, man. I think, like the reputation of Landon Collins, he was dealing with some injury stuff as well, too. And you just see his whole just reputation plummet like he's a bad player when Giants fans know Landon Collins was a solid player for us. I mean, there was times where he's getting beaten coverage, but, man, I'll take Landon Collins as strong safety all day.
And then big shout out to Independent Outsider for the $5 super chat. Says, has Chase Young really become that game changer? Was he worth the high draft pick? Did Giants actually luck out ending up with Ojulari instead of Young? Listen, a question like this is just, in my opinion, is obviously way too early to tell. I mean, I think you saw what Chase Young has natural ability in that first rookie year. And I think that, now he has to develop into a professional pass rusher and not just rely on the brute strength and speed. And I think that because of the ACL injury, it's even going to force his hand even more to learn how to become a professional pass rusher. But I love Ojulari as well. I thought he was a great steal in the draft. And
yeah, he was projected to go in the first round anyway.
Yeah,
we ended up getting him in second, but
I don't think it's a win-lose situation. I just, for me, like, I always like to, you got to have time because look, if Chase Young last year was, rookie of the year, and then this year he only has 1.5 sacks, and people are calling for his head. So it's like Ojulari is having a great year right now, but then what happens if next year he has a Chase Young second sort of season, statistically?
And people like to talk trash when you at your bottom. I do disagree that it's too early to tell. You got to just use your eyes sometimes. If I'm playing quarterback, there's no way I'm not keeping an eye on Chase Young. It's just no way. He had a great rookie season. Yeah, he was, I think only had 1.5 sacks this year before he got knocked out with the knee injury, but he's still getting pressure on the quarterback. All you got to do is use your eyes. Ojulari was definitely a steal. Instead of Young, I think, Chase Young is probably the more like standout athlete, but Ojulari is finding his way to the quarterback right now. So two things can be right. Has Chase Young really become that game changer? I will say yes, he's been that game changer. I was talking to my homie Spiros from NY Giants Rush today about Jason Pierre-Paul and some of the years that he had down years as far as sacks. And it's like, the numbers don't tell the whole story all the time. As long as you're getting pressure on the quarterback, edge rusher is a two-man job, So sometimes you get Montez Sweat getting to the quarterback because of things that Chase Young is doing on the opposite end. And right now, Washington is dealing with both of their young studs on that front being banged up right now. I'd look for both those guys, all three of those guys, to be great players for the years to come. And one quick last thing, because I know we're running out of time here before the Thursday night game and whatnot. I watched the Odell Beckham documentary that he released just yesterday, and it shows you the gruesome process of trying to rehab a knee injury like the one Odell dealt with. And, man, Odell looks stronger, faster. Just go take a look at that documentary and look at the drills he's running. I'm hoping that will translate to his play on the field, and I'm hoping the same thing for Chase Young, that, when he goes into rehab that knee, that not only does he make that knee stronger, but he makes those quads stronger and everything around it stronger that'll make him a better pass rusher entering year 3 as a Washington football team player.
Facts. Facts on facts.
All right, let's run and get to this Giants one. We're not even going to take a commercial break because we really only got about a good 7 minutes before kickoff. The Patriots are going to be taking on the Atlanta Falcons. So let's go ahead and just dive into this Giants matchup, man, which I'm dreading. I'm going to keep it funky with y'all, man. I mean, the Bucks.
Shout out to the graphics department.
Shout out to the graphics department. This is going to be a Monday night matchup between the Bucks and the Giants. The 6-3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers head to New York to take on the 3-6 Giants on Monday Night Football for the second year in a row. The Bucs are coming off a major upset loss to the Washington football team last week and have now lost 2 straight games with their bye between the 2 losses. Tom Brady had 2 costly first-quarter interceptions versus Washington and never quite got the offense in rhythm as Taylor Heineke and the football team got out to an early lead and protected that lead throughout the game. The Giants come into this game off their bye sitting at 3-6, looking to keep the momentum going against the defending Super Bowl champs. The Giants are looking to get healthy and have Saquon Barkley back for this pivotal matchup as he has missed the last 4 games with an ankle injury. Will the Giants have enough firepower to hang with Tom Brady and the high-powered Buccaneers? All right, let's start with a bunch of nuggets real quick. A bunch of Tom Brady nuggets, okay?
Right into the nuggets.
Right into the nuggets. Brady is 3 touchdown passes shy of joining Brett Favre and Peyton Manning for the second most, with 30-plus touchdown passes, actually, in a season. So that'll be the second. There's only 2 other players that have that. It's 9 that he's going for right now. Tampa Bay's Mike Evans is closing in on becoming the 6th wide receiver with at least 9,000 yards and 70 touchdowns. Mike Evans is a name that you really don't hear about as much as you should hear about because he has those quiet games, 4 catches, 5 catches, 3 catches, but he always finds a way to get into the end zone. Bucs linebacker Devin White had 18 tackles and 2 sacks in last week's loss at Washington.
He's so good.
The Giants are definitely going to have to keep their eye on him. When I read 18 tackles, I thought that was a typo. I was like, wait, 18 bro, that is just ridiculous. I wonder how many plays he actually had on the field, how many snaps he had, because 18 tackles, you're all over the field. That's some high school type numbers from a middle linebacker. Jason Pierre-Paul right now, he had 58.5 sacks in 111 games with the Giants from 2010 to 2017. He's got 33 sacks since signing with the Bucs in 2018. He's only got 2.5 this season. He's coming off an MCL injury where he had surgery in the offseason. Okay, so that's all the little nuggets I wanted to throw out there about this Bucs offense and his Bucs defense. I think the Bucs, we got to find a way to stop Mike Evans. That was the case in the last game Monday night, and that was the case rookie season with Daniel Jones when Jack Rabbit allowed Mike Evans to get that last catch, set them up for a field goal that should have won the game, but it ended up going wide right. I forget who the kicker was. I think it might have been Suckup or somebody. I can't remember who it was that missed that kick to give Daniel Jones his first win. Now, the good for the Giants, Devontae Booker is going for his third straight game with at least 120 yards from scrimmage. That is a positive. We got to rely on this running game if we want to have a chance to beat the Bucs here on Monday night. And Evan Ingram, everybody's been down on Evan Ingram, but since coming back off injury, he's been playing some pretty good football. He's got touchdowns in 2 straight games after catching none all season. He had 6 catches for 113 yards and a touchdown against the Bucs in 2019. I don't know if you remember that big play where he caught the out route and took that thing almost to the house. Jones made his first NFL start against the Tampa Bay Bucs in week 3 of his rookie season. He threw 2 touchdowns and ran for 2. I think we're going to need to see a similar game plan from the 2019 game plan. Utilize Daniel Jones' legs in this game. I don't like it when Daniel Jones is running the ball a lot because I feel like it just puts him in harm's way and he could probably take a big injury. But we're going to have to take advantage of the over-aggression of this front from the Tampa Bay Bucs, and hopefully we can catch them slipping and Daniel Jones can get some big runs in this game. New York Giants have lost 9 straight games in primetime. We got to fix that. They're wearing those white color rush jerseys.
Washington.
I swear we never win in those color rush jerseys, bro. We got to find a way to get a win, and I don't see it happening in this one. I'm going to keep it funky.
Well, there's a good thing that you are, co-host with the map maker.
You got a map for my Giants? I tweeted out earlier. I said, y'all got to tune in because the Beard said he got a map. I didn't think you truly had one.
Oh, dude. I mean, listen, I have created the ultimate map. The map of how to beat the Super Bowl champions.
You did do that with your Washington football team last week.
It's just how does the Giants fall into the categories that they need in order to find the route to victory?
Okay, before you go into the map, I got 4 questions for you. I need to know if they're on the map.
4 questions?
4 quick questions. They're yes or no questions. Okay. Washington got 2 interceptions on Brady in the first quarter. Do the Giants have to get out to a quick start on this map you about to build?
Not on this map, but that's definitely like a prerequisite to the map.
Okay. What about stopping Leonard Fournette? Is that on the map?
That is on the map.
Okay, that's good. So that's a yes. We got to know we got a yes. What about Daniel Jones not turning the ball over? You remember the last time we saw the Bucs, he had those 2 costly interceptions. A lot of people like to call that his worst games. Is that on the map?
That's a prerequisite to the map.
Prerequisite. Is there anything about Mike Evans versus James Bradbury on the map?
Nope. No,
all right.
No, that's not on the map.
The floor is yours.
I love that. That was a good little back and forth segment. All right. So for those of you that don't know, I have been making maps, and I've gotten really good at making maps for defeating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, so less than 28 points. You got to hold Tampa Bay to less than 28 points. The New York Giants, who have been playing defensively a lot better over the last 3 games, are only giving up an average of 13 points per game over the last 3 games.
Amazing stretch for the defense.
Check mark right there. If you can
offense hasn't scored 30 points this whole year, so I like that 28 number. Maybe 29 gets us a win.
Okay, the one problem on the map that I encountered for the New York Giants is
there a little roadblock somewhere? Detour, DUI check?
Holding the Tampa Bay rushing under 60 yards. Okay? The New York Giants in this stretch of 3 games in which their defense has been playing better have been giving up an average of 93.3 yards per game on the ground. Ooh. So you got to get that down a little bit. But that was the only real roadblock. The other thing was sacks and turnovers. The defense has to get sacks and turnovers. The New York Giants over the last 3 games have averaged 3 sacks and 2 forced turnovers a game. So
definitely going to need that.
You're going to need that. And then finally, running the ball, which might actually be even greater to your advantage if Saquon Barkley comes back and you have Booker working as that elusive second running back that Awthentik has been looking for. Over the last 3 games, the New York Giants have averaged 108 rushing yards a game.
That's decent. That's decent.
It's decent, but considering where they were earlier in the season, They are on a good path. 149, 72, and 103. Those are your 3 rushing totals over the last 3 games, coming out to an average of 108 rushing yards per game. That's your map.
I like the map. Now, are we going to hit a checkpoint? Had a couple drinks. I don't know. We'll see. Daniel Jones, is he going to come into this game sober, or are we going to get drunk Daniel Jones at the quarterback position?
Well,
we don't know.
The question is, don't let Joe Judge put the child safety lock on the windows. Don't let Joe Judge roll the window down and let the map fly out the window. That's going to be the key to this.
That's facts.
Monday
That's
night
facts,
matchup.
man. All right, man. I'm
Where
going
you
to give you a
going?
score
What you
first
got?
on this one, man.
All right.
I'm not picking my Giants to win this game. I'm going to just keep it straight up with y'all. I think they'll compete. I'm not picking them to win this game, though. I know that's not going to make everybody in Giants Nation too happy. Maybe on Sunday morning we change the vibes. I don't know. But I got to go with the Bucs in this game because, look, they just lost to Washington football team last week. I cannot see them losing to 2 NFC East teams back-to-back like that. And we can't forget that they lost to the Saints before the bye. That would be 3 straight losses for the defending Super Bowl champions. I just don't see it. Primetime game, Tom Brady, Daniel Jones. I hope I'm wrong, but I got to take Tom Brady. And under these lights, I saw a statistic that Daniel Jones has no wins when it gets dark. All his wins have happened at 1 o'clock games. Maybe with all of this, how you be like, he's 40 for 40. Here comes the game-winning kick. It's wide left. The Giants win. Yes. It might be one of those vibes. But I'm going to just keep it real with y'all, as realistic as I can. I don't see the Giants winning this game. Too much firepower on that Bucs offense. The reason why Washington was able to beat them was because y'all got that early start with the 2 turnovers. They were kind of freakish turnovers, too. One of them was solid. One of them was kind of freakish. And that allowed y'all to get the early lead. You saw Ron Rivera didn't go for the 4th down conversions like he normally does, which was amazing. You settled for the 2 field goals. You come out at the half with 3 field goals and a touchdown, and you rode that to victory. That is the roadmap. I like the roadmap you presented. We're going to have to run the ball. All those things are very important. You're going to have to hold Tom Brady and this Buccaneers offense to under 28 points. That's a damn fact because the Giants can't score on offense. This one, I'm going to have my eyes on Jason Garrett. I want to see what kind of game plan he's going to try to dial up here because I don't think that the Raiders' game plan is going to work this week. And like I told y'all last week, I judged that Raiders game plan a little funky at first. I was kind of like, that's ugly. Daniel Jones, 15 of 20, 111 yards, whatever. I was like, ugh. But at the end of the day, it was a winning game plan. So I had to respect it at the end of the day because Devontae Booker had another fantastic game. We rode his shoulders to victory. You're not going to be able to do that against the Bucs. But you do want to get that running game clicking so you can keep Tom Brady on the sidelines, man. I think that's very important. So I'm not picking the Giants in this one. I'll say I'll agree with you that the 28 points is very important. So I'm going to take the Bucs in this one, 31 to. I'm gonna go 31 to 17 Bucs.
I tell you, what's really funny? Before I constructed my map, that was the score I had.
That was the score you had? 31 to 17 is a good score when you feel like a team is going to really dominate the game, but it's not going to be a blowout, like a super blowout. 31 to 17 solid. What'd you pick, though? You picked did you pick a score yet?
No.
Oh, give me that score because you gave us the roadmap. Let's see the roadmap. Let's see the roadmap.
After the roadmap was painted on a off-white, corner-ripped, ruffled piece of paper.
You got the Giants taking a detour?
New York Giants 27, Tampa Bay Buccaneers
28.
24.
Ooh, you picking the Giants 2 weeks in a row. It worked last week, so I'm all for it. Hey,
I might
Giants
change
fans,
this.
we're converting this guy. We're going to turn that burgundy to a solid red, give you a little bit of blue. We'll get you. I got an extra Eli Manning jersey. It should fit you nice and snug. Perfect. We'll turn you into a Giants fan.
Listen, I might go back to my 31-17 by Sunday.
On Sunday.
But right now, after I did that whole map, I just have this 27-24 feeling. I don't know what it is.
Ooh, I hope you're right.
Feeling.
Because I feel like this ain't going to be the game that we sneak out and get a win, unexpected win. I think it's going to be against the Chargers. So I'm going to reserve the W for that game. And with this one against the Bucs, I think we take the L. I'll keep it funky with you, man.
It's going to be quite interesting.
It is, man. And I'll tell you the beautiful thing about it. I love Monday night games because you get to watch everybody in the NFC East play their games on Sunday, and you know exactly what the situation is going to be. So if we can get a couple losses across the board here in the NFC East, we'll go into Monday night knowing that the stakes is high. Shout out to De La Soul one time, because the stakes definitely going to be high against the Bucs on Monday night, man. But let's quickly get into this Atlanta Falcons Patriots game. And get the folks up out of here one time so that they can go watch some Thursday night football. I'm hyped. Yo, I love the Falcons red. I think it's just like, it's like a cherry Coke kind of red on that black.
Spot on.
I think they need to go color rush like that.
Yeah, I want them to bring back the old
Deons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's them red joints.
Red
if they
helmets.
did those with red pants and red helmets, bro, they would kill them. They would straight kill them. But the surprising 6-4 Patriots are on a 4-game winning streak, sitting just 1 game back of the 6-3 Buffalo Bills in their division. Tonight, for Thursday Night Football, they head to Atlanta to take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons in hopes to keep their winning streak well and alive. Rookie quarterback Mac Jones has clearly been the best quarterback. Mac Jones has clearly been the best quarterback in the 2020 draft class, or 2021 draft class. Sorry about that. He's got 2,333 yards on the season, 13 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. A lot of people questioned Bill Belichick's motives when he released veteran quarterback Cam Newton before the start of the season, but Belichick has proven the doubters wrong through 10 games. Can Mac Jones and the Patriots continue their run to the playoffs and pull off a victory tonight against the Falcons? Last week, quick little nugget. Last week versus the Browns, Mac Jones. Mac Jones. Shout out Mac Jones. He had the highest passer rating of any quarterback throughout that week. He had 3 touchdowns, 198 yards with an 82% completion percentage on the day. Mac Jones has 5 games this season with a passer rating over 100. Mac Jones has 5 games this season with a passer rating over 100. The other rookie quarterbacks in this class, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields. You know how many they got?
What about Davis Mills?
0 games over a passer rating of 100 for those other quarterbacks. Ramondre Stevenson should be a factor in this game for sure. I don't know if what's my man Damian Harris? He's out again.
He's back.
He's back. Yeah. They might want to use Ramondre Stevenson in this game. His first game that he had over 11 touches, he had 20 rushes for 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I'd look for him to split duties today with Damian Harris in that backfield. This is going to be a good game. I'm going to give you my score right off the bat. I know we already kicked off. We're at 8:29. I'm going Patriots all day, and I think it's going to be another ugly loss for the Falcons. Give me the Patriots in this one. I'm going to go 28-7 Patriots.
Well, look, the running game for the Patriots is the key to Mac Jones' success. So I think Mac Jones' success.
Mac Jones' success.
I think you're going to see a heavy dose of Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. And then just, you know how Belichick likes to sprinkle running backs all over the place. Like, there'll be a little bit of Taylor. There'll be a little bit of Brandon Bolden. So they have tons of good running backs over there. So I think that's going to make things a little bit easier. Hunter Henry, who I continuously tell everybody about, and he doesn't do anything but catch touchdowns. So Hunter Henry's going to catch another touchdown today. Shout out to Jacoby Myers, because I meant to do this and I just totally forgot about it. He finally caught a touchdown pass last Sunday.
It
was his first NFL touchdown pass. I think he had the most
touchdown reception.
Yeah, without a touchdown. So big shout out to Jacoby Myers. The Patriots defense has been playing really well.
Yeah.
But, the Falcons, without Cordell Patterson, who was ruled inactive before this game kicked off, no Calvin Ridley, no Cordell Patterson. You only have Kyle Pitts. It becomes easier for the defense to do that. Wayne Gallman, though, I think Wayne Gallman will have a good game tonight.
Yeah, he had a pretty
decent
game. 15 carries for like 50 last week. Our buddy Zacchaeus didn't do too well last week with the absence of Calvin Ridley. He didn't have a good game.
Yeah, but Matt Ryan also had an absolutely disgusting stat line last week. He had 9 completions last week. So if Cordell Patterson was playing in this game, I think this game would have a different style of an outcome. I think Cordell Patterson is that good. I think Cordell Patterson might actually be the best offseason signing of any player in the National Football League this year. Just because I think you're really seeing his value to that team. It just when he's on, he gives them an opportunity, and a chance in every game, just because of his versatility of running and receiving.
I wonder if they knew that when they signed him, that he was going to be such a key piece in their offense. I doubt it.
No way.
It's
Because
like
they gave it back to Mike Davis.
Right.
They gave it back to Mike Davis. So like if they knew that, they would have signed a lower tiered value wise, pay wise running back, I think, than Mike Davis. But without Cordell Patterson, I find it difficult for Matt Ryan to be able to attack this Patriots defense. I think I'm going to go with the New England Patriots by a final score of 24-17.
I like that.
And
big shout out to Anthony.
To Bluegrass Picker for the $5 super chat. Says, thank you for your dedication and the dopest live in the business. Your stats, graphics, beats, and friendship set y'all apart. Just keep going. We appreciate that. As always,
appreciate that,
Bluegrass Picker, Anthony, you always holding us down since day one.
Literally since day one. Like, my hairs just stood up on my arms, bro, because that kind of support is so necessary for anybody to do anything, man. Like, that one hand wash the other with the people that are in the live chats and us being up here on this this panel here. We couldn't do it without y'all. Y'all know that. We say it enough. We definitely couldn't do it without y'all, so we appreciate you in the building. I see AJ Marshall's in the building too. You know what it is, man. Giants Nation is in the building one time. He says we got to get this win badly, much needed if they want to be mentioned in the playoffs. That's true, and I told the Beard, like, I ain't going to be talking too much about Giants playoff hopes until we get a little bit down the line here. Maybe week 13, I'll start to see how things are looking for us, man. If we're still in the mix, we'll see. But definitely appreciate all of y'all tuning in, man, on this Thursday night. This was a real good vibe on this show, man. Definitely feeling the vibes up here with the Beard. Y'all know what it is. Left side.
Strong side.
Let's get some biceps in the chat one time before we get up out of here. Y'all know how we do, man. That's the ritual one time. Beard, any last words before we mob out and go watch the rest of these games and whatnot?
Nah, just everybody enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to come check us out Sunday morning at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the parlay. We are going to be reviewing last week's fantasy team that we put together, and hopefully we will be putting together a better team than we did last week. We're trying to win this extra Christmas tree present and wedding food money.
Maybe a couple, wedding food money. I like that. What was that one joint you said? Hold on. Oh, let me get a 3-piece meat. Let me get a 3-piece meat. I don't care what it is. Just slice it one time.
Chicken, steak, pork. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but no, shout out to everybody that watched us today on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. We can't thank y'all enough. We're working on some things, and we're excited about what's coming up next. But we will see you guys on Sunday. Enjoy the game. We appreciate all the love and all those biceps in the chat.
Yes, we definitely appreciate the biceps in the chat, man. Y'all know what it is. Tune in on Sunday. We'll be live 11 a.m. to parlay. Definitely pull up. You got any fantasy questions, we going to need y'all help. Y'all going to need our help. One hand wash the other. Y'all know what it is over here on Awthentik and The Beard. No fans, all fam. Keep raising that bar. Keep living those dreams, man. We'll catch y'all Sunday morning. Y'all be good. Peace.